Yay.
I speaketh.
No? Oh.
Did we lose? Okay, Anne's still gone. Where did she? Okay, we're also missing Whitney. I just said that.
Yeah.
Yay.
I summoned her. Fingers crossed. Yeah, the disclaimer. This is what happened. The thing is, we're not just crew. We're also friends of going on 5 years.
Oh.
And
She said that there was a storm going on, so her internet was a little finicky right now.
oh boy.
She got pushed. Whoosh whoosh.
Whoosh whoosh.
Ah. I still have to be really quiet because it's like 11 p.m. at on my end.
Okay, sounds. Just kind of hope for the best with Anne, or do we want to wait a little bit longer?
No, guys, Anne is here. She's
Oh, she's back.
Oh,
We
there
got
she
her
is.
back!
She's alive. She's been unwhooshed.
Do we have a lot of questions, or do you have a lot of questions?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious me.
How you doing,
My
Anne?
headphones does not want to acknowledge my mic. My headphones have given up mic-wise, I think. I paid about 3 days ago. And I'm
Also-
lost my money. Oh,
Also,
look who
Beth's-
it is.
So that
Oh, no.
someone in the YouTube chat is asking how to get into the chat here.
Hi
You're gonna need a bot
everyone.
to, like,
I'm so
spam.
sorry. Nobody on the stream could hear me. That makes sense. Okay, anyway, now you can. If you want to get into this server, we have a link in our About Me on YouTube. You can just click there, and then we have a Discord link. Should be one of the very first links you see. And then you can join the server and choose your roles and stuff and things and stuff.
We have Edie in the chat asking if she can, if they can still ask questions.
Oh yeah, for
as-
sure. Just ask away in the actual channel itself, or just in the VC, whatever's easiest. We'll see it.
Start.
No, you should go first.
I'm Amicia, you guys. This is Meg. Go Meg.
Hello, I'm Meg. I am one of the I am one of the lead writers and artists on the project. I am the sole creator of Octai.
Hi guys, I'm Domi. I do illustrations, I do art for this musical, and I do some scripting, and I'm also a head writer for Norbert.
Hey all, I am Sam, or like Samantha, but Sam's just fine. I help with as a screenwriter and one of the art directors for the musical, and I am the sole.
Mine's different on each of our ends. Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm one of the script writers. I am the sole writer for Diana. I'm also a graphic designer working with the musical. I made all of those KTVs, the Connect typography videos from a few months back. Yeah.
Yay! Okay. I'm multitasking.
Hi everyone, I'm Whitney. I'm one of the head writers. I write for the character of Amicia, and I'm also the script editor.
The script writers. I'm sole creator of Cosimo, and I am also the voice of Cosimo's little sister Cassandra.
I'm multi. Hooray!
So, okay, before we dive into the questions, we've had a couple, I've noticed, of questions about where Return to the Moon came from.
Oh,
Do we want to address that real quick and sort of explain to those who don't know?
I actually have a question here that was asked recently about the where the original came from. We can answer that first and kind of explain from that question
Out ourselves.
what all happened. So let me just move this to the front. Okay, so we're gonna start questions. We'll start with this first one that we got recently. It was I think the last question we got. So the question is, out of the original 5 judges, this was a roleplay, yes, and 12 contestants, if my numbers are correct, how did you decide which characters were going to be your main 9, and why did you choose them? So I will go on to an explanation a little bit. So back 2019, 2020, I don't know which one it was.
2020 is when it launched.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 2020.
Well, 2020, there was me and all of the people in this chat, including Love and Heartbreak here, we're all editors. We still are. Most of us, I think all of us are. And I had released a roleplay called Returns of the Moon. Sound familiar? Yeah. Okay. Well, we started doing that. I hosted, still with my character, Brienne. Every single person in this who is assigned a character is the character that they wrote. For example, Meg wrote Octai, and Dami wrote Norbert, and Sam has Kenzu, Sophie has Diana, Whitney has I don't know why we just didn't dump it off the side of the road, but we're still here. So we're gonna keep going and hopefully get the story that we all collectively love out to you. As for the question, unless you guys have something to add about all of that, like something you want to share.
So we have this thing in our editing side of the community where we like to, basically it's the closest approximation of how you imagine your character looking like, and you do it. Multiple roleplays have different things. You might have heard of roleplays that do it with actors. We do it with animated characters. And when you host a roleplay, you post a video saying, hey, this is the prompt of the roleplay. Your character is in this situation. For Beth's Return to the Moon prompt is your character is resurrected from the dead and they were murdered in their past life. You get to choose. And then it just kind of
asked how to answer that.
That's a question for you.
What a way to start.
Okay.
We're just people we just lost contact with, and it was kind of just us.
Yeah, it was a case of people had gotten very busy with their lives and that, and then there was just us who were well, we love our characters, so we want to let them go too fast. Not that everyone else who had been on this journey had lost interest in their characters, but that's in the way sometimes, and that's okay. But we still hold all of them dear to our hearts to this day. I think we can all very agree on that part.
Yeah, it was like
there is
Go
Sorry,
for it,
go
Meg.
ahead,
No, Meg. I'm gonna talk a lot. It's your turn.
So we had somebody say that there's somebody in the chat right now saying that you can find the roleplay still online. Yes, you can, with the caveat that there are major spoilers. So if you want to go into this to check it out, you still will be getting a new experience because of the large amount of changes we have made. So there.
Kenzu unlisted at the current moment because I wanted to kind of keep some
I did the
listed,
same
at least
to
for
mine as
unlisted
well.
links. But still, yeah.
I think I should do the same to mine as well.
Yeah, there's a large.
I mean, I just unlisted mine because I hate my editing.
really want to put yourself through that, because if you're wanting to go into the musical first and just have that experience, you should do that. It's like it all matters really, basically. And a lot of us have unlisted stuff. I who haven't unlisted it, so yeah, again, good luck. But so there was like 2 judges in the roleplay who were the most active. Like the rest of them used to pop in and out, but active people in the server.
Let's go Dream Team!
Calling you out.
Dream Team!
And then there's also the fact that everybody else who was included had made some insanely strong bonds between their characters and the ones who were most involved in the story. So it felt right to include them in the story. And the more that we wrote it, the more that we saw that there was just even relationships that we just really cool just to put that all together. And most of actually everyone here was rather active when it came to their characters, so I felt like it was based on what Sophie said. It was just activity. Let's see, I'm just gonna check mark that one. Okay, a lot of these questions. Okay, well, because I know that there's questions that I'm answering, but I also want to give y'all stuff to answer, so like this
We're
one.
basically the background characters for this Q&A. Good lord.
Man. We're in this together.
We're all just living in Beth's world.
Okay, here we go. Here's a question for you guys. Were the characters developed already, or did the voice...
Interesting journey. When I first joined the roleplay, I won't lie, I had no idea what I was doing with him, because at the time he went under a different name. Do I out that? Because it's going to be really telling of what fandom I was in at the time.
I mean, you might as well.
You
Might
just
as
say
well.
it.
Yeah. So originally, Cosimo was called Geralt. So all the Witcher memes are so welcomed. Yeah, I'll get on about my tattoo in a bit. And I mean, I kind of had a brief idea of who Cosimo was, or at the time Geralt, but I was never really solid in my choices. And with the musical happening, I was kind of like, ooh, I can actually like dive in big thing that related to how he died. And then I just kind of decided that wasn't the route to go. So I mean, to this day, I'm still adding stuff to Cosimo, and everyone, all the girls here are like, you know, sick and tired of it, I'm pretty sure.
No.
But like, I think Cosimo is always going to be that character where I'm like, oh, I could just add, like, sprinkle this in somehow and sprinkle more. So I don't think there'll ever be like a solid ending for him, because he's just always evolving. But he also had a big personality shift as well, because in the role play, I just wanted him to be like this soft boy who could do no wrong. And then I just kind of realized, no, this isn't what a 17th century old would act like. And it kind of gave him that opportunity to have this character journey that you will see in this, hear, smell, I don't know, in this musical. Which is I'm really proud of, and I think because of this musical, I'm really happy now with how Cosimo is, which I don't think I could have ever seen back in the editing days for him. So, yeah. No, Cosimo cannot be contained, but he is grounded as of now. No more gongs for him. So, yeah, that's me.
Octai didn't change very much for me when I transferred him over to the musical. Maybe some backstory details that I wasn't super satisfied with, but you don't really get to see that in the musical or find that out. A lot of the stuff where of who he is and like how you find certain things out about his past is pretty much the same. A mutual sort of respect, and like him and Annalise have some moments and that makes them friendly towards each other, where in the role play they never interacted. And Ethan, who's his voice actor, Ethan's amazing, and Ethan brings Octai to life so incredibly well, but Ethan didn't really contribute new ideas.
Well, I guess I can say the same thing about Steven as well. I guess.
I guess.
I guess. I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Also, yeah, Stephen did kind of help contribute to some stuff as well, but I never hear the end of it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as Meg, where Diana hasn't changed a whole lot. However, again, I mean, Ange does such a wonderful job of voicing Diana, and she has such a perfect deadpan delivery that really did sort of did influence how I wrote some of her new lines.
Yeah, I don't think Kenzu changed roleplay, so I kind of already had a general idea of who he is and what led him to the point he was at. And sometimes I'll have a very particular idea of how he would sound and how he would present himself. And I feel that Brent really did an amazing job kind of portraying sort of that softness, kind of through the deep voice, but there's a softness to it that I think he generally did a wonderful job bringing that to life, and that's something I deeply appreciate. And it's not from like it was quite a journey. We had quite a journey just trying to get answer that later.
Dive into that pocket
Alright,
later on.
Let's see. Okay, so Dami, you go ahead. I heard you getting ready to speak.
Yeah, I wanted to speak. Yeah, I won't say anything new because Norbert also didn't change much for the musical, but he did change a lot before the roleplay. I created him when I was really young, like I was 15 too, and he went for a lot of changes. And yeah, that's
So really funny.
Yeah.
Like we didn't.
Hang on.
The little I think she's gone through some changes, none of which I can talk about. But like when I first started the roleplay, and so is still there from what I first created, but she has grown since then. She's had more time to breathe, I guess.
Oh no. Sorry, my computer froze. That's why you might have heard something. So I got scared.
Amicia had time to marinate.
Marinate, yeah.
I think it's safe to say I think both Amicia and Cosimo have been like the ones who have had a lot like added to them because they were like nothing. They were just bare naked. Bare naked.
Of course, we have our Jeff creator over in the chat, speaking hers about her boy.
Oh yeah, we should read. I can read that out loud. The main writer for Belt before the musical became a thing. So
I
Yeah.
always forget about those, like answering the questions. I'm like, okay, next one, because Anyway,
Stick together. It's not safe out there. What's so funny?
I don't
I mean,
know.
you've made a fair amount of changes.
I have, yes, but like, she's also like, I feel like she's kind of grown a bit of a personality, just a bit. I don't know. And I came across Ellie, who plays our Brienne. I feel like there was a lot that Ellie had chosen to do in her acting that I was like, or do something different and be like, well, I can actually do this. And I sat there and I was like, why didn't I think of that? I'm the creator. I'm supposed to think of these things. But yeah, she had a little help with like, not just line delivery, but like in the line delivery, kind of just giving her a bit more of a personality and like more like she's chasing after something rather than just trying to get by day by day. So yeah, you'll see that more as the musical is released. But Yeah, I feel like Ellie did help me quite a bit actually with her changes and stuff, because through her, I was her voice actor. Okay, let's see this next question. I'll go first. There's this witch, and like, she lives out this hunchback kind of thing, and she's about to die. But then out of nowhere, people are just like, hey, I used to be dead 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 700 years ago. And that's kind of how that happened, roleplay wise at least. But the musical itself, I would say the inspiration for the musical, wait for it, was the song Sinful. Was the song itself.
horror.
Yeah, because of, I feel it's like there's a lot in the musical that I would be like, oh, that's a great reason to see. It's like that's the inspiration, but no, it was purely my simpery over the fact of just the ship that we both have.
God, I ship Kenzu and Brianna. Okay, guys, I'm gonna turn this into a full-on musical, and we did like a double take. Went, huh?
Okay. Well, let's turn this around. Is that a good question? Does that make sense?
It is.
Yeah, I feel like it just can translate
I
to
think
what
we were just gonna
inspired
take
the
time to
character
think.
creation in general.
Yeah, yeah, like coming
Yeah,
from the
like
role play
character
into the musical, like how would they develop? Like what did you want to do different, or like what inspired?
Wait, what's the
development?
question?
I don't know.
Is-
It's like Sophie, help
Is the
translate.
question what
Uh,
is the question what inspired the character creation to begin with, or what inspired the development of
okay, so what inspired Diana standing here in solidarity with Anne here for silly media, what I wanted to do for Diana? I was really in the mindset of like the Revolutionary War and telling it from the perspective of people whose stories weren't really he would have dealt with being in a situation where she couldn't trust people and she couldn't have that strong emotional connection that she really desired. And so, but yeah, it was mostly Assassin's Creed.
Actually, yeah, you know what? Whitney, go next.
What was the question again?
What inspired the
With Amicia, well, if we go back to the roleplay, like the character face claim that I had chosen for her back then, I kind of just went off that, and then like where her origin was, and then kind of put her in a different country, raised away from her family, and just kind of built her up from there. As for the musical, she kind of kept the same backstory from the roleplay, but she got a little bit more of my personality.
Whitney.
I try to keep myself on my best behavior.
Alright.
Oh, you can go next, Dan.
No, it's fine, Meg.
God, that's so funny.
How Whitney approaches it, I had a very specific face claim that kind of like gave root to how not only how Kenzo looked, but how he acted. And the character in question I used for the face claim was Moses from the Prince of Egypt, because it was right at that moment in my life, where I just started to slip into the Prince of Egypt special interest. And the Kenzu was born strictly from Moses as straight, like the purest inspiration I could have. And it's sort of just like, it kind of just came to me as I was developing. Like the face claim and the kind of the look came first. And then it's like, okay, like what kind of story do I want to tell with this character? And it was the idea of him being a father and being left in a situation where he has no idea where his child is and is trying to reunite with his child. Which, a little fun fact, actually, Kenzu originally was going to have 2 kids, of a daughter and a son. So, like, he was going to have a daughter and a son, but I think I didn't have time when I was still, like, very new to the editing scene. I didn't have time to add clips or masks for the son character, so I just stuck with the daughter. And that's kind of how Layla came to be. And Kenzo even had a completely different name when I was in the process of making him. I think he was originally going to be named Rafik, which also had a very specific meaning, because I also like to have meaning to my characters' names and have these names for a reason. But eventually I stuck with Kenzu because it stemmed from the Egyptian god Khonsu, who's the god of the moon and also travelers. So I thought it'd be a neat little, like, kind of callback to the Returns of the Moon. Just have his name be related to the moon in some way. And then his personality kind of just came in as I was doing the audition, and he is what he is now because of that process.
All right, if Sam's giving away who the face claim was, do we all just want to just put it out there?
You might as well. I mean, Whitney did it first.
Actually, technically, I didn't say who it was.
No, I know, but
Oh,
Sam
that's true.
did.
Say who the name was.
God's
God's sake, Sam.
What?
Amicia's original face claim was Chell from the movie Road to El Dorado. So I
Octai was Kenai from the movie Brother Bear.
Norbert was Taran from the Black Cauldron.
Cosimo was John Rolfe from Pocahontas 2, Journey to a New World.
Diana was she was Pocahontas from well.
Oh, and then Jeff was Jim from Treasure Planet. Oh, there we go. She already said it. I was
Yep.
like, hang on.
And then Beth.
My
your
character,
piece.
my character was Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Yep. I
Alright,
should add that some of the cast members have seen these videos, even going as far as to watch them all in one
Lord.
sitting. Yeah.
I wanted a character to be from England and lead a harsh life. That was all I had for him at the beginning. A lot of drama stories helped me develop him more, and I instilled my own struggles with religion onto him. I created his wife as a reason for him to keep striving for life. That's very interesting.
I like Jeff. Jeff's a cool character.
Yeah, Jeff is great. Anne, you go next.
Oh. Oh my god, wait, what was the question? Oh, right. The question.
been so
How-
long.
Creation process.
Yes, the creation process. So, obviously, I had chose John Rolfe at the time. It's kind of also the same reason for Sam. I just loved him. I was like, I just love that man. And he kind of had all the movements and like the facial expressions that I knew my character would have and probably have during interactions. That's the kind of person I am when I'm thinking of the character. Is like, who are they personality wise, and which character would represent that the closest way possible. And that just happened to be John Rolfe, and I love that man to death. But again, at the time, during the role play, I had no idea who he was as a character. I'm just getting bullied by Steven, and I don't like it. like a true older brother. And
I'm like
anyways,
half
as
tempted
I was
to like
saying-
bring him in here so he could just be like,
And
No.
No.
This is
No.
he had his
I'm not
time in
doing
the
it. I'm not
Q&A.
doing it.
anyways, so when I had started doing, like, when the musical started becoming a thing, by Richard Madden, who also played Prince Kit in Cinderella, and I had taken like a bit of personality traits from both like Cosimo de Medici and his grandson Lorenzo, and I do love my historical fiction in that. I'm quite the history nerd, and I kind of took some personality traits from like King Henry VIII as well, with how he treated his sisters, especially Mary Tudor, who'd married the king of personality traits. And that's it for him, really. I just kind of nitpicked some stuff from historical men, and I went, "You're good enough. Throw you in there."
So I love everyone so far is like, based on the face claim or based on like a funny thing I was into. And I'm like, Octa's inspiration was based off of a really personal experience I had. Had just in his experience, because you know they die and then they wake up like no time has passed at all. For him, he had just recently gone through and that was sort of me working with somebody I considered to be a friend, and I felt deeply betrayed my trust and was using my friendship against me a lot of the time. And it caused me to spiral in a very kind of the way I do things is that like I go through something and then I work through it, and then when I feel comfortable, I then kind of work through it again through my storytelling. And that's sort of what happened with Octai, is like I got kind of inspired to sort of analyze and work through that again, and then that's sort of how his story ended up taking off. In terms of but she was pretty integral to the story, so we couldn't really cut her out either. The original creator, I don't know what her initial inspiration was for Annalise, but in terms of what we ended up putting into Annalise's, this chat helped mainly Anne. But this sort of people more. And initially she, I talked this about when I posted her character design, I think. Initially she did not have albinism, she just had very, very light hair. And the truth is we could have just rolled with that because she's from the Rococo era, the white hair was a big aesthetic, especially in France. But I like this idea that maybe part of the reason she was sheltered was because the people around her were paranoid about her own well-being, because she just drain all the melanin from you. It also means you are way more sensitive to sunlight, so you can get sunburns a lot more easily, and if you get sunburns too often, that can result in skin cancer. And also, people with albinism, Annalise would have been seen as maybe more clumsy and prone to hurting herself. So she basically got locked up away because of it. I myself, I and sort of being undermined because of the disabilities you have as a person, and just not wanting to be seen for that and just wanting to be able to live your life in the best way that you can. So that was sort of how Annalise's development went.
Creation process of Norbert. Boy, where do I start?
Oh, nice.
Yes, I was to write a lot of fan fictions with him. Like I put him in role plays. I roleplayed him a lot, with my friends especially, and I really like stories about siblings. What else? What else can I say? I think that's basically it. The only thing that changed in his design is freckles, because he didn't have freckles he didn't have freckles before. That's it.
We do like freckles.
Yep.
Did you go?
So he did. She did.
She
Oh, you
did.
did?
Okay.
I was like, are we answering different questions?
What was the question again? Beth did not go in regards to Brienne, though.
I don't think I had. Okay, well, considering the fact that the character was created as a judge, a lot of the characters that I have made are a lot closer to me than I would consider Brienne. I do care about Brienne, like she's my main girl, but she was also the first character that I had made. Well, yeah, technically the first, like, or like do anything creative with them. So whenever I first made Brienne, I was thinking, I need a good character who can consider herself a leader and reason or inspiration with, like, she can be given new opportunities, new things to say, new personalities, just based off of the conversations and bonds that she creates in the story. There's so many questions that have to do with like, yes, Brent, I see you typing. I know, we'll answer your questions. You know, in fact, I'm just going to ask, you hear these Gong questions. Am I pro-Gong or anti-Gong? I am anti-Gong. I've been from the start, and I will not change. We're staying on this hill, and we're gonna die here.
You'll
God.
change your mind eventually. You'll come around.
Right. Like both of them are in separate rooms. The door is locked on that gong, bolted shut. Absolutely not.
Staying in separate rooms, sleeping in separate beds.
Oh no, no! The gong doesn't get a bed.
Okay.
So
I
Cosmo is
love-
grounded until further notice.
And I love this. The cast Q&A, Steven's like, are we allowed to curse? And just goes full blown.
Your spirit,
Brent, I'm
Brent.
not grounding you. I'm not grounding you. I'm grounding my child.
Next Gong question.
I'm gonna answer these questions. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I'm answering Brent's questions. Is there a consideration for a gong to be put in a musical? No. Okay, next question. Let's see. Is town person number 2 the real villain the whole time? No. Okay, next question. Will Act 1 and Act 2 have separate movies?
Movies?
Yes. I will say that.
You're
Yes.
funny.
I have been
Oh.
saying from the start that Act 1 will be released. Never once have I said Act 2 will also be released. So yes, we will. They'll be separate, but we won't say when. That's under wraps. So you guys don't say nothing when they don't know that Act 2's coming out or when it's coming out.
2050.
I'm not answering any Gong
Coming out in
questions.
2050, guys.
Steven, you can forget it. I'm not answering any more Gong questions. Okay. Okay, this one's for me, but I want to get it out the way. What made you want to open an audition for the end credit song? Easy. I wanted to get more people to get involved. I wanted more people to have the chance to never actually approached anybody to do the vocals for it, and I didn't want to do it. So it was just a matter of just, I guess we're doing auditions, and we written for the stage as well, or animated only. That's a loaded question.
There's been talks before where we've talked about how things would be done realistically on stage, but I
That's
don't
actually the
know.
root of a lot of certain changes we made is because this for the stage.
Oh, we're so glad you would show up for the role, Steven. The question is, would you get it?
Oh, thank God
no,
you
I'm
did.
kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Well, no, it happens a lot though. People on cast recordings for like Broadway shows and West End musicals, you know, they get to lend the voice, but then if they can't do it for the show or they're just not the ideal look, you get cut.
Start lecturing you on how to really spell oi. Okay. Yeah, it was like we had it as especially in the script, we had it as a stage play. And I was actually planning on getting to my local theater. Indie musicals that online are actually getting pretty big, so we decided to start pushing for artwork. And we got some good, amazing animatic artists, animation artists to work on some of the songs, and we're so excited to show those off because it's going to be amazing. But yeah, I think it was kind of both. Like, we started for stage play, but then we went to
Not a
Fuck if I know.
Definitely not possible.
Let's just say it was Brienne, because we don't know. We really don't know.
Probably Kenzu.
We just
probably.
kind of we all worked separately, and then we worked together, and then changes were made along the way. I don't know,
Yeah.
man. None of us can really answer that. we
Honestly,
can tell you when our characters are fully developed, who was first.
It was like, it's like we all had. See, Brienne is still developing as we speak, and when it comes to how many which character existed first, that's probably what the answer is gonna be. Is like Brienne was probably there first because she's the lead judge, but I don't know who was developed first. I think it was just all of us together. Like, hey, We can do
Yeah,
this.
it was kind of a collaborative effort that we kind of just developed
Yeah.
separately. We also plotted together, so there was like development of relationships and stuff like that. So it's hard to really pinpoint who got the most development and when they got it.
Mhm.
It was kind of just it was a group effort.
basically a group effort. Yeah,
Yep.
group effort.
Okay, and this one says, "What was the very first song written?" Ha! Sinful. Sinful was the very
We already
first song
answered
written. It was. I have answered that. It was actually. It was not okay. So there's a thing about Sinful is that in the musical in Act 1 it is broke up into 2 parts, and I can say that. But when I first wrote Sinful, it was completely one song, and then we decided to do away with the chorus and just do it from part 1 to part 2. So now part 1 is now named Sinless, and the second one is called Sinful. And Brent here sings both of them. And he loves it. He says it's so easy.
does it
So insanely easy.
That's not what he's.
He does the songs justice, as does Ellie, who is not here with us. She's with us in spirit.
She
I mean, it's not like
died.
she's dead. Well,
I was gonna say.
Okay.
I return to the night.
dead. Well,
Sometimes I can still hear her voice.
All right. This question says,
I'm dead.
"How long has this musical been in the works?" That's kind of hard to answer.
long.
It's like it's been a while. It's been a very long while. I don't remember when we first put our cast call up, but it's been a long time. It was like maybe 3 years or so. I'm sure the cast can tell you. I'm sure they could tell you very easily when this first started. But
I would say
I think
close to 3
Well,
years.
it was
Probably
20
2 years.
days ago.
I think I
maybe.
Okay. Okay. Does any character have a pet?
No.
Yes.
Oh well.
Well,
Technically, mine kind of did. I just remember.
Cosy. Well,
Brent is a pet
on
source.
him right now. There's no. Cosimo and well, this was like pre. No, it was more or less a gift for Cassandra because Cosimo was like, "You've been complaining you're lonely, so take this because I don't have time for you." And then of course, they all died. Sorry, guys, the dog did not make it. That dog was loyal till the end with Cassandra. The dog was loyal till the end with Cassandra. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Wow, everybody's mourning the dog, but not the character who actually died.
Was living out in the desert for like several years with his daughter, so they would need a camel to kind of get by, so they had a camel. And Layla, a little tiny fun fact, Layla was the one who named the camel. And she was like 3 years old when she named it. I believe that she named it Safa, which literally just means brown in Arabic.
Oh my god, that's adorable.
Very much
Also, I wasn't
3-year-old
laughing at
child
you, Sam.
energy.
I was laughing at Brent. I wasn't laughing at like.
It's sandworms. No, Brent. It was a camel, not the sandworms. I don't know if sandworms are even a thing in that area of the desert. Just literally just brown, as any 3-year-old would.
So Norbert never had a pet, but if he would, like if he lived in modern times, it would be a cat, and it would be black, and it would have basically the cat would be named after Alice from Alice in Wonderland.
Yes, I know this.
Black cat, Alice.
Okay, let's see.
So fun fact,
Shut
black
up.
cats were sorry.
Oh.
No, you told me I was telling Steven. I was telling Steven. It was Steven.
Steven is
No, I was just gonna say that black cats were considered the devil back in Middle Ages, so it would be really funny if he.
Okay. All right.
Can we kick Steven?
You can. All right. Let me see. Is this one says, "Is Return to the Moon going to have a happy or sad ending?"
You'll just have to wait and see.
Yep.
I like that answer.
No. No. They all die.
This
The end.
song,
Not deny nor confirm.
this song. Wow, I am music nerd to the death. Okay, here we go. Would you ever do merch? I am wearing merch, but actually, you know, however, be hosting an event on Discord where you guys can give your ideas for merch. I know that some people had suggested plushies at one point, which was really cute.
Oh my god, I want an Octopi plushie.
And
so cute.
I want another plushie.
the only people in the world who have merch right now, and the crew will have their own you know, stuff, but the only people I know who have merch right now is me, my sister, and my boyfriend, because they all have begged me. But I'm very excited to release merch, and I just need to get more ideas for this, because it just can't just be, you know, like a sweatshirt. If you have any ideas, just wait and see. We'll have an event where you can actually give your ideas. But yes, eventually I would like to do merch.
I want acrylic charms.
I think people want sleeves.
Yeah, he's
I
been
think
saying
Steven
that.
is screaming for.
Costs money to make, and then you need to make that money back. It's going to be that thing where if there's interest, and also if we have time, because we're just right now the priority is make the actual musical be realized, and then afterwards, if harder thing.
I feel like this should be said, but if the cast or the crew send me the money of what they want, I will order it for them and put it together for them. So if y'all want it, just let me know. Tell me what you want, and then I'll put it together for you. But when it comes to everyone else who's audience members, not yet. Gotta wait. That's how that works.
Well, very much a we'll see kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But hopefully.
Which character's backstory are you proud of the most? Okay, that's a little funny.
Yeah, well,
We're all proud of our characters. Ah?
I'm most proud of
Oliver?
townsperson number 3.
No. I really love Moon. I think the character on there is just the mood just really seals it. Like, ugh.
I really love the character of
something about that.
the character of
Wait.
Wait, what?
Oh,
I think
I was against it. I'm at the start of it. What is it like? You know.
I miss
We're all
sometimes
proud of our
this sort of
characters.
stuff.
We're all proud of our characters. We all love them. You know, they all have great
Very
backstories and stuff like that. Although I will say, when like a random point in history,
Yes.
parkour.
Parkour.
But I think everyone in here created an amazing story that is really interesting to dive into and dissect and analyze. And Beth did an amazing job having all of the songs reflect all of that, reflect their internal struggle, reflect what their story is. So.
Okay, great. I hope that one day, if this gets big enough, that we can have a live performance. And I would love to have the cast included in that in some way. And I think most of them have actually confirmed that they would do that. So that'd be a fun little thing to do. But yeah, I would like to see. I'm gonna let
They would
y'all
hate
take
me.
this.
They would hate me. Except Charlene. I think Charlene would find me interesting.
I've had Norbert for 15 years now. I think he's used to it by
I think Kazuo will just be wondering when the angst is gonna end and when he would actually get a happily ever after. You know, we've got starters, we've got the main course. Desserts seem so far away. I think, yeah. He would just be wondering when it's all gonna end and he'll get a nice happy.
Development.
I suppose my daughter's all right. I suppose, so you know I don't hate you too much. Sam would be in trouble.
Know that if she she could make it look like an accident.
Sia is probably the least traumatized of all of our characters.
That seems valid.
What's that like?
But I still think she'd probably not be very happy with me.
Octai hates anybody who looks at him funny, so I can't imagine how he'd react towards me.
We
if
could
he
all
knew
say
I was
goodbye to
the
Meg.
maker of all his hell.
We can all
I
say
feel
goodbye
like
to
you
Meg.
just
She'd be murdered.
breathe. No, yeah. I feel like if you just breathed the wrong way in front of Archetype, that would be the end.
Pretty much. So yeah, but I also don't like to think about that kind of thing because it's like my characters are separate from me, or their projection would be running for my fucking life.
Okay, alright. Did everybody go? Of it was Hunchback based. That's why I keep including like choir, big heavy execution drums in execution. Like there's a bunch of songs that have like a kind of a Hunchback feel, but also I try to say wicked types of things like that. No, not epic. I don't try to, at least my music isn't like, I don't know, I don't want to say modern because it's not modern. It's like that we have different styles, and I really feel like Returns of the Moon has a lot more of like a Disney feel, if I'm being honest, like early Gather. So yeah, that, and for musicals, I think
Technically, we're already doing other projects, just not other musicals.
Yeah,
That's-
what we're
collectively 8 of us do something like this again together. Probably not, and not because we can't work together or anything like, or we don't like working together or anything like that. I think this was just a very special case of getting us all together to do this kind of thing. However, all of us will continue to work on projects in the future, and we will, and typically because of just the way you like working with people, like you would want to bring other friends along, those people along with you. These guys on with me when I eventually go to do that. I even had some of them help me for just my animated short film that I released last year. So I see you, Beth. So, and I would love to bring some of those guys back on again, because they are a great, because I love working with these guys, and they're so creative, and they have such great ideas and great influence on projects and stuff. And I myself I'm not somebody that likes working on something by myself. I like getting other input from people who I trust creatively, and in this type of group, that's definitely something applicable and stuff. And I think it was Sam who said it, like we also all already working on like more solo projects together, more stuff that's more in line with like the roleplay aspect. So we've never stopped working together on different projects and branching out and that kind of thing. So it's like, will the crew ever work on a musical again? I don't know. I'm sure Anne and Beth will, because that's what they do. But in terms of the rest of us, I can't say for certain. Will all 8 of us work on a project again? I don't know. That maybe, but it's like you never want to say never. But you know, to keep expectations realistic, we can't answer that. But will you see us work on projects in the future and then have some of the Returns people, the Returns crew, carry over from that? Absolutely, yes.
I will say probably, like, personally for me, because of how busy I am in my personal life, because you know, as much as like it's a boo of a answer, I do have to prioritize real life from outside. I mean, I would love to do more stuff like musical wise, because that is my dream one day, to be working like on shows in the West End, and that massive time difference between most of us. So
I have been in love with musicals for a long time. This only had furthered my love for it. I will actually have been planning to do another one after Returns of the Musical is done. Since I've met so many amazing people and I love this crew, and just like the collaborative work we did together. It's not Return to the Musical, no! It's just another musical. I don't know what yet, I'm still deciding, but I do know quite a few people that I'm really interested in working with, and I want to do this again because it was so much fun for me. Yes, it was taxing emotionally, mentally, and physically, but yeah, I want to do it again because I like putting myself through torment. Also, I love music, so but yeah, I love this. I love doing it. I want to do it again, and I absolutely want to get more people involved and to meet new people through it. So I will be doing more projects like this in the future. Everyone else might not, but they will. I know that they're going to be supportive. They're amazing. Let's see. Will there be opportunities for others to help out? You know, that's kind of I don't know, because we have quite a bit done already. I think it's just the one thing that we're working on. We're kind of in a close-knit group of people that we've already asked and approached and everything like that. So I don't know if that's possible. But if you're interested in helping or doing anything to help, I recommend spreading the word as much as you possibly can. That can always be like a ginormous help. It does not matter if you have no social media. Word of mouth is also appreciated. Anything really. And but yeah, I've got all the lot, and sometimes you don't always have time for social media, so that's always a big help. Is there any funding or advertising needs? Wow, who asked that? That's an amazing question. I love that question. I don't know. I don't know. Advertising needs. I would love, actually, somehow.
I made a gong.
Let's see. What campaign and fans do to promote the project? Oh, what can the fans do to promote the project and help out? Again, like I said, just share it, show it to people, try to get people interested. You know, all
make
that kind of
art.
stuff.
Art's
Yes, make
a really-
artwork. Oh my god, please.
Art's a really great way to get people attracted. Really likes the project. Like, make fan art. That's a great way to help us out.
That's, yeah, honestly. And we love seeing it too, so it's a win-win. Like, we love it.
That too.
Privately, we're like, oh my god, you guys, look at it. It's amazing. It's so beautiful. And then we also do the same thing to you. Oh my god, look at it. It's so amazing. So please. Okay, this next question I could go on for hours, so I'm going to skip it, and I'm going to go on the next one.
What was the question?
About motifs. You guys know me.
You know
Oh,
what?
yeah,
She
yeah.
can do a whole ass video for that. Fuck that.
I could, actually. I have
Get it.
somebody in the chat who asked this question, so I'm going to ask this one so they can hear. What are the inspirations in...
Who's going
okay.
first?
Meg is going to go
So-
first. I know.
Okay,
Meg can't.
so
Meg needs to get it out.
okay, so everyone had their like own design input and details and stuff for their characters and stuff that they asked about and stuff. I basically, in terms of characters, I did help design and give final designs to. I basically looked at what everybody's social status was, what like their main color motif was, what were personal details that all these guys told me, and I ran with it, and I did many months of historical research, much of just digging and figuring out what I wanted to do, and all of these characters went through multiple different designs. Some of them didn't, but a lot of them did, and just figuring out a lot of that stuff. I'll start with just my characters. With Octai, his whole thing is that he's somebody from poverty. You know, he's a working class man. And stuff that are associated with those of higher class and working class, even nowadays. And it's how do you attribute? How do you translate those kind of ideas to a modern audience? Through fashion trends that maybe a lot of people don't know or understand. So color saturation is a really big thing. Those that were way more well off and had more money had much more saturated clothing because they could afford those dyes versus those of lower or working class who wouldn't be able to afford that kind of thing. Also, fashion trends were a really big thing. Back in, like, you know, the 1800s, you know, so that was interesting to keep in mind is that even though fashion silhouettes were changing every decade, based on social status and wealth, some people could adhere to this new fashion silhouettes adhering to 1840s fashion. Except I actually looked more into 1830s fashion silhouettes because he would have more kind of warm orange yellowish color scheme, just because that's the color I associated with his power. And then so similar adjustments were kind of made from there in terms of other characters. I think Diana has an interesting design based on what Sophie told me, because Diana, being a spy, when she's actively being around, she would have worn more feminine clothes. But she died when she was going out in the middle of the woods at night to meet with her handler. So as a disguise to not raise any eyebrows of what the hell is this woman doing wandering out in the woods, she would have dressed like a man, so from a distance no one would have really raised too much of an eyebrow. So that's why she's wearing more masculine clothing, even though typically that is not what she would normally be wearing throughout most of her spy days or most of her life. It's just in this very specific circumstances that's what she was wearing when she died. So on and so forth. I could go on forever, but I'll let other people say their piece of what they wanted to do with their characters, and Dami and Sam especially, because they're the ones that designed their characters specifically, so I'll let them speak on that.
Sam, you wanna go?
Yeah, I'll go. The era I had picked for Kenzu when I made him was 14th century Egypt. And I was pretty ignorant at the time, so I thought, oh, I can just slap on ancient Egypt garbs and call it a day. And then I looked into it, like, oh no, this is not what I imagined at all. And it became a long journey of, like, having to sort through to purchase a magazine from, like, a UK store online and have it mailed to me internationally just so that I can have something. And there was also things like color coding based on religion, what religion they were of. So, like, Christians had blue, Muslim had white, etc. And the Jewish had yellow, I believe, etc., etc., etc. So, and then I had to incorporate that color coding thing into Kenzu's development in his backstory, because the blue were outer garments, proper headwear. So it's learned that, like, Kenzu canonically would wear a turban to protect his head from the heat, and then he'll have, like, kind of poof, I wouldn't say I know poofy is the right word, but kind of like more poofed out, like, trousers underneath. And that was a pretty common thing for both men and women. So, and there's, like, specific shoe wear as well. So it was very likely he didn't have sandals, but had more, like, kind of a specific type of slipper. So it was like that whole process after doing all this research for the past, like, couple years, realizing, because, like, just like in any other country, like, fashion changed every century. Like, in the century before the 14th century, like, most of it was inspired by Roman fashion. Like, I think it was, like, yeah, like, before the Muslims took over Egypt in around that era, the Romans were in charge. So it was very much was a process where I had to figure out the kind of the correct clothing items, but also had to figure out the colors as well. And, like, even the change of colors from Kenzu's outfit.
He did a fair amount of, is this accurate? Or is this a very Western European colonialist view of of an African country and is maybe iffy? And so stifling through all of that was a process. Kenzu definitely was the hardest character.
All I did for Norbert was looking at pictures and paintings of medieval peasants and watch all the videos. And that's basically it.
In fairness, medieval, kind of like European, like anything, is usually not super difficult to find because.
Yep.
Yeah, we found out the hard way, like what eras were like the easiest to research and what were the hardest out. Because you can find an abundance about the different fashion eras of like Europe from going back centuries. You start looking other places and it gets really difficult real quick.
Yep.
If anybody else wants to pitch in with like what specific design attributes were important for them, for us designers to keep in note while we were doing that.
Well, for Cosimo and Cassandra, I guess. So part of Cosimo's backstory was obviously he had taken up being the Lord, and they said to you, Meg, like what like year like their clothing would kind of be stuck in. But I know at one point it was difficult to like pinpoint an outfit or design really for Cassandra.
Mm-hmm.
And you found a movie or something that
Cassandra's outfit off of a movie that took place in the 1630s. Then you had later told me that they would be behind, so I then reworked Cassandra's design to be a fashion silhouette that was popular for the 1610s. Yeah.
The red was just completely accidental. The color scheme of like, the red suit, the gold sash, and I think also as well for Cosimo, really, because he'd become Lord so unexpectedly, he kind of wanted to make that like bold like statement of here I am and you will see me for. So like you can't miss him really, and really, I made it easy for him to be spotted anywhere for the returns, So that's my contribution.
And then get a redhead to play him, right, Steven?
That was accidental.
I don't know if you heard
Lord.
and his like the whole thing of like how he got to the role of Cosimo. He was just like, well, I started as a redheaded character, and then I got another redheaded character, and then I got another one. I was like, oh my god,
The loved one, but like he was another one.
Yeah, he was
Yes,
originally Richard.
And then he got. I thought it was only Richard, and then he.
I remember. I remember who were all the people that were lined up for Percy, and he was not one of them.
Okay, let's see. I've got this here. It says.
I mean, I can stay for like 20 more minutes, but that's it because I have a real job.
4, 5.
Oh,
It's
okay.
almost
yes,
1
yes, of
a.m.
course.
for her.
We have 8 more
Think of us
questions
poor
left.
Europeans.
Will we get a
I will say
gong
we
at the
did
end of
get-
the musical? No.
No.
Let's see.
I will say we got this comment here in the chat real quick that said, huge props for putting the effort into having a diverse cast in a historical setting. A lot of media would either use it as an excuse not to, or have a racially diverse cast and not acknowledge it at all.
Well, it was really funny because there was a few cast members who were a bit worried about the diversity because they were worried that they were going to get some hate comments or something based on not being the same kind of nationality. On their voices, how amazing they sounded, and in Steven's case, gave them promotions because of how amazing they did sound. We would only hear their voice. We didn't see their picture. We didn't see what they looked like. We only heard what they sounded like, and each time that we did, a character who was in charge of that, a creator who was in charge of that character would hear it and then be like, oh, they sound just like them, or no. A lot of the say had to go to the crew. I was not making a step until I knew that my crew was okay with the characters and who was playing them.
Stop it.
very much a case where we had no idea what any of these guys looked like. Picked the character, ideally for the cast members fit the ethnicity of the character, But it was in this case where we were a small production. We just put it on Casting Club, and our priority was solely the voice. We did let people know from the beginning what the ethnicity of each character was. So if people were uncomfortable that, they could have avoided those roles should they choose to. But that was our priority at the time, was just, do they sound like the character? And granted, we didn't even know that the musical was going to be this. Like, initially it was just kind of, let's just have people sing these songs. So that's all we made to either songs or the script.
It's really fun to see everybody so involved as well. Like, so excited to work on something if I give a new song to them or something like that. But seeing as how we're done with all of the songs, it's kind of sad and bittersweet. But at the same time, they're very fast to work and written. But at the same time, characters, I hope that you guys have felt like that surreal feeling with the characters being voiced by such amazing cast members. It's so fun to listen to them. I listen to them on repeat, you guys. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna
They're very
answer.
lovely songs, Beth.
Thank you. Had
Yes.
y'all's help on it a lot. Is Kenzu the last one? Was Kenzu the last one to cast? How long did it take? I don't remember. I don't remember. Was it the last one we casted? I don't
I
think
feel
so.
like it took auditions. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was the character that didn't get the most auditions.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
He got a few,
We-
but
He did get a
think
few, but like,
it didn't hit.
I will open up and say that I was a little picky because I really wanted the voice to be right. Steve said we were waiting for the chosen one.
it was yeah, it was a lot of the character casting was it was actually kind of funny. It was like we had heard most of everybody from Casting Call Club, but then as we were going, it was like we were getting introduced more people for roles that we didn't have ready yet. Like, so Ellie had introduced us a lot to a lot of you guys, and it was really fun to see everybody so excited to work on it. I think Jack was also somebody who was introduced to me through Ellie, and now he plays Jeff. So yeah, so it was kind of everywhere, just a little bit. Okay, I gotta ask y'all this one. What is your guys' weirdest talents outside of what you do for the musical?
I mean, I feel like the thing that started the musical is kind
Yeah,
of the
literally.
closest to throw out there.
The crossover editing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
no,
niche.
The thing
Yeah.
that bonded us all together, our very weird talent and hobby, is that we do crossovers between animated characters from different feature-length films.
And sometimes live action.
Or if you're insane
And-
like me, certain anime characters.
Quote unquote weird talent. I'm very proud of the work we all put out. I think it's pretty good, actually. And we all love doing it because we still do it. That's the thing. Like, we haven't stopped doing it since the roleplay. We're still making stuff currently as we speak. And it's great. It's super fun. So many projects.
Okay.
Yeah, unless anybody else has another one outside of that.
Do y'all have something else? I mean, I can do this. Look at, yay!
I haven't done this in years. I used to take archery classes though. So
Oh, nice.
I mean, both me. I guess both me and Domi can say that we both can speak another language. I mean, for Domi, like Polish is her native tongue.
Tak.
Yeah, and
Dokładnie.
then I can speak Welsh. So yeah, we're cultured.
Yep. Central Europe, everyone.
Woo! Woo! Oh, Europe! Edrych arno ni! Woo!
Okay. Sorry. Go, Sam.
I was saying, I won't exactly call it like skills or talents, but I do have interests in other things. Like, I've always had a soft spot for miniatures. So, like, Colleen's Fairy
same.
Castle, famously, is one famous example. I also have a soft spot for Fabergé eggs and the history behind that. And I also really like ball jointed dolls, and I've collected a few of those.
Yeah.
Gosh, I love how I've just remembered this. I also really love musicals. That should be an obvious thing. I do love Greek mythology and Welsh mythology, but I also really love the Tudor period, especially with Henry VIII and his 6 wives. Mainly the 6 wives of Henry VIII, but I do love the Tudor period and castles too. That's it.
I'm
Working on vampires since the moment we met her.
Everywhere.
So hyperfixated on vampires, she got me to watch an entire show in the span of a couple of months, and it was great.
Oh, it was amazing.
and I've
Why is he hard? Why is he hard?
Oh gosh. Okay. All right. I have 3. We have. Okay, you guys, I think, have 3 more questions. I guess that was my question. We kind of finalized all the songs. I still have to go through and master them, but yeah, they're almost just about done. Yeah, they're all all the lyric writing is finished. It's just a matter of putting it all on the video and then actually mastering them out. So, how did you guys get the idea for some of the power changes for the characters? Power changes.
I hated what I originally picked. I never liked it. I never cared for those who don't know, if we want to talk about what the original power is and what the change power is. Oxeye's original power was that he could manipulate fire, so pyrokinesis. That was it. And then the one I changed it to is that he could summon force fields, but that the way it specifically works is that it only appears around him, and the only way he can use it on somebody else is if he's physically touching them. I never liked it. I was never satisfied with it. I thought I never felt like it fit him as a character. It was the only thing I could think of at the time because I had a cool scene idea with it, and that's the only reason it exists, but I never liked it. So I'm really happy that I got a chance to change it into something better.
With the Mesia's power, back during the role play when we were first doing the auditions and stuff for that, I originally wanted her to have people's eyes, but then when we started putting her in the musical, the whole invisibility thing.
Same thing.
Sorry. You're fine, Dami.
Yeah, same thing as Whitney for Norbert here. When it was a roleplay, Norbert had object creation as his power because he was a craftsman in his life. And then when we were, we were basically talking about this going on stage, and I was worried how to translate that, so I simply. Telekinesis is object related, and he can create objects, and he can move them, so that can be related. That's basically it.
Yes. Excellent.
Cosimo's power never changed. It's always been control, but again, with the whole character development thing, it's never really explored in the musical, but when Cosimo first realizes his power of control, he's like, ooh, I can really use this. But then it becomes a thing that really starts to make him see how he treated certain people in his past life, and how maybe he used control back then as a bad thing when he can try and use it for good in this one. So control for him has always stayed the same, and it's always that power of it can be used for either good or evil.
Yeah, and there's a story significance to it, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Thank you, Brent. See, Brent gets it.
Diana's, it took me a while to figure out hers, actually, because I was one of the last people to figure out her power in the original roleplay. I ended up settling on, I don't remember what the actual name for it was, but it was hyper adaptability, basically. So she would if she touched an element, she would be able to turn her body into that element. So if she touched metal, she was able to turn metal, but that obviously was very difficult to translate into stage. And the more story significant one, or the more story significant aspect of that, is that she was able to her adaptability meant that when there was like magic in the air, she was able to sort of sense that there was magic there. So instead, we just had her, we just changed it to she can now just sense when magic is in use or when an area is.
That means she can always sense when Cosimo accidentally controls someone.
Yes.
She's like, oh.
He
And then
turns
2
around and
seconds
she's
later-
just staring at him judgmentally, hands on her
She's
hips.
like, she's like,
I don't know
you better-"
why, but I think I'm gonna kick SpongeBob's butt tomorrow.
Honestly,
Exactly.
it's like one of those things where he accidentally sets it off, and then Diana senses it, and then 2 seconds later, you just hear, "Sorry, did I do that? Sorry, did I do that?" That was Cosimo's like catchphrase for a while, back in the roleplay days.
Change.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that there's like much to say on that matter, but shapeshifting's kind of hard to do on stage, you know. And then they would have to explain it every time. So yeah, that's just not a thing. I do like this idea that I think Meg was the one just, oh, by the way, we can do this. We can go this direction. That's all she does, really. I don't see her purpose a lot in the story, but I'm glad to see that she can help a little bit. And the visions, she can be tormented for the good of all mankind. So that works.
I think the idea around the visions was that it was like a good way to do foreshadowing to stuff that happens later that would be harder to explain otherwise. And also I felt like, I think my logic at the time when I suggested it was that it also like fits her struggle of like wanting the truth and seeing the truth, like as one of our songs is even called. So
Actually have that her story and her arc kind of be a purpose into her power still even as it changed. And yeah, I mean that helps a lot. I really do like the power. I like that it foreshadows
for this.
Yeah, his was originally teleportation, with this cool wind effect going on and stuff. Anyway, so obviously that couldn't be done on stage. So for the stage, I had to change to wind control. I think it was wind control. So his emotions would help the wind kind of just happen or just change direction, whatever. But yeah, he could do that. So we thought that'd be pretty cool to be on stage. And yeah, that's basically what happened. Mine's not so complex or nothing. It's just that.
Annalisa's power.
Oh, yes.
Change, but it did kind of limit itself.
Yeah, Annalisa's ability was that she could originally turn into any animal, and we limited it to just birds, because that felt very fitting with the freedom motif that kind of goes on in her narrative.
Specifically, exotic birds, I think.
No, it's just birds.
Oh, just birds. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot.
No worries.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I actually have to go now.
Mhm.
Thank you guys for having me, and see
Of
you guys
course.
later.
All right, talk to you later, Dami. Bye.
Yes, thank you for coming, Dobby. Bye bye.
Okay, we got 2 questions left here. Did the process of putting these characters in a musical setting come naturally? No.
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 The music itself came naturally. Trying to fit our characters there was a little harder.
It itself to a more kind of multi-part thing with different perspectives and POV and points of views, which you can't really do that in a musical. So we had to do a lot of reworking. It took a lot to get us to a point where we were like, okay, I think this works.
Yeah, it was a lot to handle. It wasn't just like
it was going on for hours, and you were like, it was a case of like, we've got to start cutting things out that don't really impact the story in any way. Yeah, so there's like a lot of things that we wish we could have kept, but like obviously for time and like story reasons as well, like it just had to go because every time I would just see stuff, I'd be like, this is gonna turn into Les Mis, like just about like almost 3 hours, and it like
Probably
no
will.
one
Let's
wants
be honest.
that.
All the cutting we can do all the cutting in the world. It's still going to be long.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult on it, like, to do a musical when there are like 9 main characters and they all have their own little story, because obviously in your classic musical you've got your 2 main characters and you've got 2 side characters, like 1 or 2 side characters, and the rest is ensemble that kind of contribute to stuff but not really. But when you've got 9 characters who have their own personality, their own story, and their own journey, it is really hard to trim down. But we've managed it. Just we've had to really prioritize like what's important to our character and what do we want to showcase off for them, I would say.
Okay. All right.
It's definitely very much a work in progress.
It was.
What's-
Keeps asking
what do
about
you think about
gongs.
No, right.
It's
Right.
not an important question.
No, Claire, this is what you have to do. You just have to ignore him, and then he'll just get bored and just stop asking. I learned this from my children, the kids at work. No, I don't have children.
All right. Well,
Let me put that out there.
I'm gonna go on to the motif question because that's the very last question. Okay, and then I'll just check mark that. Yeah, we're done with all the questions. Okay, so motifs. Yes, I have motifs in the musical. Octai has an all-in motif that is strictly to him. Jeff has Live a Little. That's kind of his little. That's his little motif. Sam.
Yes.
No, I'm thinking. Kinzu. Kinzu has a motif. I feel like him and Brienne kind of share Sinful. Yeah, I don't see anything else beyond that. But Diana also has. She doesn't have really a motif per se. It's more just like her instrument is a flute, and I try to incorporate it in things that she's specifically singing. Save Myself, which is her solo. As for Amicia, Amicia has a instrument. It is the Erhu. Yay! I love Erhu. Okay, the Erhu. That's sarcastic, by the way. I hate the Erhu, but this thing. It's specifically meant for that. Like, we chose the Erhu for Amicia because it's just so different. As for Cosimo, Cosimo has a no, I'm kidding. Cosimo has a
I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hate you.
Cosimo has his is kind of a violin, I feel. I think that's what Anne had asked for when it came to an instrument. And yes, he has a motif. It's a very obvious motif. Our cast is very, very traumatized. Specifically the one who's in chat in all caps screaming by that one motif. I love the fact that that has happened. It's just the best thing ever. Sorry, it's okay. Actually, Anne, you go ahead, because I see a question in here that I would like to answer.
No, I was also going to say with Cosimo and the violin, me and Beth are both into Bridgerton, and we both very much agreed. We both very much agreed that Cosimo is kind of like the Bridgerton character of the group. Like, if you had to ask me like which character I think Cosimo is, he would definitely be Anthony Bridgerton. Beth just added the musical trauma. That's all.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We both said Bridgerton, and Beth ran with it, and boy, am I so happy she did.
I was listening to a lot of Bridgerton, the unofficial musical, and also like the score when I wrote Something Wonderful, mainly because I was trying to focus on like that ball type of feel, you know, because the whole big thing about Cosimo is that he had these type of events with his sister, so I wanted to convey that and have like an Anastasia moment, you know, so I would get all of the staccato strings and, you know, all the really pretty choir and just anything to support that type of vibe. So I feel Something Wonderful is definitely one of my favorites because of that. My favorite instrument and motif? My favorite instrument and motif? That's really hard. That's really difficult.
It's the Erhu.
I do like the erhu, but I really, really do like the violin solo in Something Wonderful. And I feel like
It's just so haunting.
it is. It's so like perfectly like this chat can tell you that I am a little bit too obsessed with Sinful. That is going to be my favorite.
Slay!
Yes.
What a win!
Okay, well, you guys, we've answered all the questions.
Woohoo!
Yay! We've answered them all. Yes, I did. I answered your question. And I'm not answering any gong questions. You can forget it. It's not going to happen. No. 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 I said no.
Son, brother, you're grounded for 5 more centuries. I've added 5 more to your century grounding
Man,
already.
I
I've
wish
had
I had.
enough.
I wish I had that sound bite where I could just play it. Gosh, that would be your punishment. I would just play the
Sam,
Something
can you
Wonderful
put- can you-
bite.
It's fine. I can Snapchat it to him.
You
That's
can
it.
time
I
it
don't
out.
Either.
care.
You can put them in
There we
timeout.
go.
I'm just kidding. No, let's not do that. It is a questionable thing, though.
Or you could just disconnect them.
No, I'm not doing that.
No, that's rude.
No.
Oh. Well, oh.
They'll just come back.
He did that. I did nothing. I did not do anything. That was him. But yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining.
Thank
It's been so fun. Just hold on and we'll what's the word? We can't wait to see you December 11th and we hope you enjoyed.
Bye.